To my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we are having another look at the EVGenius 2 1.5 patch notes. This patch is mostly focusing on quality of life improvements and bug fixes, and then they added some other things to the game, so we will dive right into it. I haven't taken a look at it yet, but let's have a look. Let's have a look what they have to offer. Please note, we continue to investigate reports that a number of players have been unable to play EVGenius 2 since updating to a previous version, and we'll be releasing a fix for this as soon as we're able to do so. Yikes. I am thankfully not affected by this, but that sucks. That really sucks if that is the case. I hope they're actually they're fixing that quick. They also, and this is I think one of the most important things, they enabled the DLC option for already existing games. That was one of the biggest gripes I had a little bit when they released the first DLC, where the game was saying, yeah, here's our new DLC character, here's our new DLC items, and you now better start a new game. I was like, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that to me. Oh, like I'm in the middle of a really cool session with EVGenius 2, and I don't really want to start a new one. Like, don't do that to me. So I'm glad that they are now offering the option that you can just say enable DLC, and you can just, you know, continue to play that campaign you have been playing. So cool. Let's have a look at the general changes. Characters now board the cruise ship more swiftly. Didn't they do the same thing in the last patch? Man, at some point people are just sprinting off the aisle. I have to admit though, I haven't seen the difference between moving more swiftly and don't. Maybe it didn't work in the last patch and they had to do it again. So cool. Click and hold functionality has been improved for picking up and moving items. Good. It didn't feel snappy enough, so I have to see how that feels in game. But that is a good change. That is a good change. Cool. All deco effects have been significantly boosted. Note that an item can be affected by only one deco item at a time, and we are looking at improving the messaging of this in the future patch. Oh, what? I didn't know that. I will be honest. I was totally believing that you could put just multiple items next to each other because there was no signalizing in the game that you couldn't. So I was just putting multiple items next to each other. Of course, all deco items effects have been significantly boosted. Super important because I mostly just use the decor items to make it look pretty. I didn't try to get any effects out of them because I never really felt the difference between having a deco item to my minion or not. So cool. I will now find the difference. Awesome. Deserting minions can be captured and imprisoned to make them rethink their life choices and slowly restore their morale. Yes. Yes. I love this in the first EVGenius game. Totally loved it. I was so sad that they removed this from the second game, and the only thing you could really do against minions who left your lair were shooting them. Kill them on their way out. And I never liked that. Yeah, that's great. Cool. That's a nice addition. Warning notification added at the point of no return after progression for the next campaign objective will prohibit access to any remaining side stories. Good. Nice. There's not much I can say to that besides of good. Give the people a warning. The layout of rock types and Montanas and Gemellas, I always butcher this name, has been modified to increase options for reaching the lower levels of the Doomsday Cavern. Note that this change will impact new campaigns only. Okay, that makes sense. I actually heard some people complaining about this, that some of the rock types in the lower layout were like really endgame, and it would take so much more longer to get to that point in comparison to when you would get your Doomsday device, and people were not happy about this. So actually see them changing this and listen to the community. Top. Options for stair placement on the basement's floor of the Crown Gold and Cane Key Island layers have been expanded. Note that this change will impact new campaigns only. As somebody who has played a lot of Crown Gold, I know exactly what they mean, but I couldn't really describe it. Like I always felt like that when I get to the point where I can use stays, which is pretty early in the game still, I still had an issue of where to put them to get to the upper floor or go down a floor. Like there were only like a few areas where you could really utilize it, and when you screwed up and built a room at that point, you had to redesign your base. It was horrible. So I'm glad that they're changing that. Okay, you have to start a new game, but whatever. Characters will no longer become trapped inside the helipad tower in the unusual circumstances on the Cane Key Island layer. Yeah, I also know exactly what they mean with this. Like the amount of times my minions were just in this helipad tower and we're looking at each other and we're like, "Hey dude, how was your weekend?" "Pretty good, you know, doing some word domination, drinking some coffee, having fun with my word zapper. What are you doing?" "Well, I should go to work, but I'm stuck here with you, so cool." Like, this infuriated me actually. I'm glad that they finally fixed this. Characters should no longer become temporarily trapped when moving through doors in unusual circumstances. That was a rare thing to happen for me, thankfully, but I have watched some YouTube videos and some live streams where it happened quite often to certain layouts in the map. So glad that they apparently fixed that. Access to Doomsday Device Cavern can no longer be blocked by placing items. Who would have done that? I mean, let's be honest here. Nobody would have ever blocked the entrance to your Doomsday device with items. No one. Why are you looking at me? I'd never have done that. Training items will no longer enter a state where training is extremely swift or extremely slow in unusual circumstances. Never had that? Cool. Characters no longer become clipped with one another and unable to board vehicles in unusual circumstances. I definitely saw that happening now and then. And the circumstances were not too unusual. The frequency of iris notifications has been reduced for the vault, combat, and training interruptions. Finally. Just give me an audio option to maybe even deactivate that. Especially the vault information. Holy shit. You're running out of gold. Maybe wanna rob a bank? Oh. Shut up, Iris. I know. I know. Fire extinguishers no longer become less used over time if minions drop them to desert the layer due to low morale. Okay, I never saw that, but cool. That sounds fun. Using hotkeys to select henchmen will no longer cause the camera to jump to their location. Thanks. Completion rewards have been added to objective that previously had none. Good. I mean, Good. Commanding a captive to be escorted to a first prison cell, then overriding this command for the same captive to be taken to an interrogation device will correctly result in the second command being carried out. I think I have this done once, because I was a little bit too impatient and tried to be super fast, and my character was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I just do what I like. Minions will no longer use items which boost their maximum stat values unless the stat which will be boosted is already over 45. Oh, okay. Never saw that as a problem, but okay. Hey, I take it. Character abilities are more clearly differentiated on side panels when characters have insufficient stats to activate them. Thanks. I admit, I sometimes hit the button and I was like, why is this button not working? And then I realized, oh, they don't have the insufficient stats for it. Whoops. New status messages for the genius and henchman indicating that their stats can be restored at an impressive desk or conference table respectively. Neat. Cool, that helps the newcomers. Enemy character using cover operation items are now correctly affected by gas attacks, such as Fugu Furukawa's Blowfish explosion ability. Never had that problem, but cool. Additional rare traits added when minions are spawned or completely specific jobs around the lair. Oh, that's cool. That sounds cool. Huh. I have to check that out. The gold cost of broadcast strength research project has been reduced. Neat, but needed? I'm not sure. I mean, I understand that they don't want to ask you too much money for making more money, right? But I never really felt like that was necessary. I take it regardless. Okay, cool. The Learning Lamp archive item correctly lists Deception minions as users and Science minions as operators. Cool. The Intensive Care Pod Infirmary item correctly lists all minions as users and Science minions and workers as operators. Okay. The doors of the Rejuvenation Chamber layer item now animated correctly. And the visual effects align correctly with the model. Yes, please. That thing, like if you've ever seen that, looked so wonky. I'm actually glad about this. Characters no longer play erratic animations before death in unusual circumstances. I thought that was kind of cool. Characters' limbs remain in the intended position during interrogation. I had this like once or twice. Yeah, that they were playing like with the feet to tickle the agent or whatever character they interrogate, and the feet was not there, so they were tickling air. That was hilarious. Selecting the final stage of a Doomsday device, then entering build mode will no longer cause the Doomsday device temporarily float in place. Oh man. That was fun to watch though. Descriptions have been added for mode settings on layer items. Okay, good, good. Here's the thing. They had descriptions for different modes on layer items in the early access version I have played. As I might remember, I was able to play Evil Genius 2 like 2 weeks before the release. Thank you again for that, Rebellion. I really do appreciate that. And they had descriptions for the modes in game. Like you could go on a mode and the game was explaining to you what the heck is going on there. And then with the last patch before the release, they removed that. And I was like, wait, why are you removing that? That was so helpful. So glad that they added it in again. Nice. Door access time have been slightly adjusted. Cool, because I still believe that doors are taking a little bit too long to open up for your minions. but they're definitely better than they have been on release. Suspicion is now displayed on the side panels of layer items awaiting construction. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Yes! I will never understand why this wasn't considered right from the beginning. Like, you have so many items which are creating suspicion through agents, and the game is not telling you what the suspicion is. So what you had to do is you had to click on the agent, look at their suspicion panel, see that it is at 0, and then just wait for him to take photos of all the items of your layer to remember what the suspicion levels of those items are. That was really the worst. I never understood that. Especially because you could just go to a wiki at some point, or as I said, like writing it down yourself, and then just search for it. So you had to put in the extra work instead of the game telling you what's going on. So, thank you. Thank you. The laser disco trap no longer clips through an area of effect indicators when selecting other traps. I think I had that happen to me once. Cover operations glass is no longer visible when constructing stairs near the windows of the Montana's Gemellis Island layer. Okay. The event log displayed in the stat screen now scrolls correctly when clicking and dragging the scroll bar. Thanks. That was annoying. The research screen will now display a brief explanation if research has become paused. Will they explain why? That would be neat, because sometimes it just paused because they were swapping out the scientists, which is completely fine. And sometimes it was something completely else, but if you haven't been there when it happened, you never really know why. So, cool. Awesome. Deception minions descriptions are listed correctly in the Rogue gallery. Okay, cool. Information overlays for tourist side panels have been updated. Okay, wonder what that means. Triggering a flamethrower trap will no longer trigger a fire-related event log message unless a minion is caught in the effect. I have seen that, and it's pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying. Maximilian's inner sanctum wall tiles no longer clip through doors. Did they? Must be blind. The cursor for ordering prisoners to be moved to an empty cell is no longer mishappen. Player-controlled characters no longer rise a short distance into the air when ordered to walk to specific locations near the swimming pool on the Crown Gold Island layers. Okay, I have never seen that. And Mimi, thank you so much for the elixir. Move tooltip is no longer displayed in the top left of the screen. Okay, whatever. Minion position markers are no longer misaligned when selected by using a specific layer item. Okay, also never had that. Minor improvements to icons when color blindness settings are enabled. I have to say, as a colorblind person, even without the colorblind options, I found it relatively easy to move around in the game. The game no longer lags when adjusting the brightness slider in the graphic options screen. Also never had that happen to me. The ability to move items is no longer prematurely unlocked in the tutorial. Okay. Items from the Ingenious item pack can be used to complete tutorial tasks where appropriate. Okay. The technician trainer correctly obeys in-game audio settings. Right? A number of schemes had their location adjusted to more suitably match their descriptions. Neat. A number of trades have had their effects significantly boosted. And now it would be great to know what those trades were. Yeah, and what significantly boosted means. Improved gamepad support, text and localization improvements. Okay. Oh, why are you closing this? I wasn't done here. Okay, this is just achievement stuff. Campaign. A member will no longer become trapped in the execution animation in unusual circumstances. Poor Emma. Okay, this is all bug fixes. Yeah, those are all bug fixes. This also seems to be all like bug fixes, which is nice. Super Agent. Side panel portraits of Agent Steel now match the appearance of the character. Nice. Super Agent side panels include the correct Force of Justice affiliation. Okay. Specialist agents accompanying a super agent are assigned to the correct Force of Justice affiliation. Okay. Henchmen. Okay. Henchmen abilities no longer enter cooldown or have their stat cost taken before they are in the correct position to begin using their selected ability. Nice change. I can see that. Except Havoc's backfire. What is the Havoc one? Let me see. I saw the one. The backfire effect of Havoc has been reduced. Oh. Okay. Well. Neat. Thank you. Not super important, but yeah, cool. Jubei will no longer teleport through terrain when his windwork ability is targeted at a very specific point on an island there. I have seen that in videos. I have seen this in videos. It's hilarious. That's unfortunate. Jubei no longer becomes unresponsive in unusual circumstances when activating his flow ability while the game is paused. Yeah. You could apparently do some hilarious shit with Jubei's flow ability. It's just great. Incendio will no longer become stuck in an animation cycle when using his magic trick ability. Thank you. I actually had that happen to me and I had to reload. That wasn't too great. Incendio's side panel now correctly lists the morale cost of using the misdirection character ability. A Spectro will no longer become unresponsive after being ordered to use his clone ability immediately after completing a move command. Okay. Summon ally ability while Piston Punch is being activated will correctly focus the camera on the Spectro clone. Oh, okay. Fukufukawa's Sleeping with the Fishes scheme now correctly removes all heat from a region, regardless of the level of the criminal network. That's a good fix. Ellie's silver revolver should no longer disappear from his hand during an idle animation of a conference table. I had that. Clara Jones' defeat bark is now paired with the correct text. Okay. Loot items, the required for a minion by judged worthy by the Sword of the Stone loot item, have been made easier to meet. Good. I think I had only one minion, so to speak, where that happens. Certain loot items can no longer be stolen during the side stories. Good. The Cupid's Arrow loot item can no longer be destroyed. Never had that happened, but I heard other players complaining about this. Yeah, some people were really pissed about this. Minions will be more commonly used the World's Oldest Bones loot item. Good. The Million Bees loot items no longer requires a minion to deliver it to the depot before it can be placed. Good. Loot item information is consistently unlocked in the Rogues Gallery after acquiring it. Thank you for that. When using a gamepad, navigating between placed loot items in the build menu no longer skips the items in the list. Okay. Well, that was nice. Lots of quality of life changes. That's great. It really seems like they are listening to the community and change the things they have to change. This is good. This makes, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Evil Genius 2, and I think it's a good game, but sometimes I had the feeling that there were a few features which were missing or which were not working as people hoped it to work. And now they are very much listening to the community about how they feel regarding certain features. And this is great. Makes me definitely happy. Yeah. We will definitely return to Evil Genius 2 at some point. But right now I see them adding a lot of cool stuff to Evil Genius 2, and they're changing the game in a meaningful direction. So I will wait a little bit longer. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you leave a like if you are on your way out. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see more patch notes, reaction videos, gameplay videos. Right now, Going Medieval is one of the games which has been really interesting for me. It's like a RimWorld-esque game. And as I said, we will also return to Evil Genius 2. Like, if you want to see more of that, you can also leave a subscribe. If you decide to do that, I would appreciate it. You can also watch us live, streaming from Monday to Friday at 9 AM ET with Mo in the Morning in Your Gaming News. And as you can imagine, yes, that is exactly what we're doing here. I'm streaming live right now, recording the video. This is why you sometimes see the alerts popping in, because my community is throwing stuff at me. Those bastards. No, I love them all. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, or more importantly, stay evil.